January of 2020, I did a video on Korean NFL kicker Younghoe Koo. It's still one of my favorite vids from my earlier days, from that time period shortly after I stopped doing gaming. It was short and sweet, but the details was all on point. I know cause Younghoe himself hit me up on IG. He said, "What's up, bro? People sent me the video, and it's impressive that you got all the details right. Just wanted to say appreciate you making it. It's dope." Of course, I thanked him, and years later, he came through for me again. I needed a few insights for another kicker video I was working on. And like I said, man, Younghoe came through and held me down. A lot of people don't know that his first opportunity came in the AAF, Spring League, a league I covered, but I stopped when the league stopped because they ran out of money during the first damn season. He went from that to one of the best kickers in the NFL, and even surpassed Justin Tucker for a short period of time. This is essentially his origins and how a Korean kid playing to make friends ended up making millions. You know what's great about sports? They can build bridges across race, culture, and even countries. They can cause a kid from Ohio to put a Cajun spelling on the back of his jersey, or have a middle-aged coach cut loose one time, all just to bond with his players. In today's story, football allowed a kid from South Korea to make friends in a brand new country. It allowed him to earn a scholarship and attend college, to get a viral internet clip and gain notoriety. And best of all, it allowed him to make a living kicking a ball that he'd never even seen until he was 12 years old. This is what happened to Atlanta Falcons kicker Younghoe Koo. Cue the way. Yo, real quick, if you enjoy these videos, please consider clicking the like button, as that allows the channel to continue to grow. If you're brand new, maybe click the subscribe button, enable your notifications. That way, every single Thursday when I drop these, you know about it. Yeah. Younghoe Koo was born in Seoul, South Korea, August 3rd, 1994. His dad was a professor at Seoul University and his mom was an aspiring nurse. During his time in Korea, Younghoe played every single sport available to him, which was basically soccer, baseball, and basketball. No American football to be heard of, but he honed his kicking skills playing soccer. Younghoe actually had a natural ability to kick the ball. A little bit later in his story, you'll see how it eventually gets him all the way into a professional kicking job. But when he was a kid, his ability allowed him to win several regional kicking competitions. When he was 4th grade, his mom moved to America to achieve her dream of becoming a nurse. 2 years later, when she got on her feet, she brought Younghoe over to live with her in the States. When Younghoe was 6th grade, he came over to Ridgewood, New Jersey. He wasn't able to speak any English, so as you might imagine, life was pretty tough at first. If you ever been a new kid, you know it can be tough to make friends as it is. Now imagine speaking a completely different language. That gotta be a lonely ass feeling, I can't lie. But as we discussed in the intro, sports has a way of breaking down barriers. Younghoe impressed his new classmates with his elite soccer skills, but like I mentioned earlier, American football wasn't a thing in South Korea. So the first time he actually saw a football was when he was 12 years old at recess. He watched his classmates playing two-hand touch, but after a while, his new friends wanted to see if his kicking skills would translate from soccer over to football. They was like, "Yo, kick the ball." And legend has it, Younghoe lined it up and kicked the living out of the ball. His classmates were impressed, so they helped him to get into organized ball. So you got a kid from a whole nother country impressing his classmates, which leads to him joining the actual football team, which would eventually land him in the NFL. One of the dopest ways to start off an NFL career. The next year, Younghoe joined the 7th grade football team, but his parents didn't know what football was either. And because of that, they weren't all that keen on Younghoe joining the squad. The middle school coach had to go to them and really break down and explain, first off, what the game was and what it could eventually do for their son. At first, he wanted to play soccer, but soccer and football overlap, so he had to pick one or the other. That's when his middle school coach stepped in and let him know that, "Hey man, you can get a college scholarship kicking this football." Now look, I don't know if Younghoe actually understood that he could also get a scholarship playing soccer, but I'm pretty sure his middle school coach left that out. Little bit of a grimy move, but you know, it worked out this time. Younghoe played all the way through high school, moving up to varsity his freshman year. He was adjusting to American life, but he realized that learning the English language was just the beginning. Adapting to the actual culture was the hardest part. Still, football continued to help him bridge that gap, and it drastically improved his high school experience. And check it out, bro, it's something that y'all gotta know about Younghoe. This is not your average kicker. Check this out. Younghoe Koo was actually named MVP of his high school team following his senior season. He stood 5'10", 195 and recorded 6 interceptions from the cornerback position. He was also the team's best wide receiver according to his high school coach Chuck Johnson. But his ability on defense and offense were not what got college coaches excited. It was his amazing leg, as Younghoe earned scholarship offers from James Madison and Georgia Southern. When it came to choosing a college, it all came down to the visit. Younghoe said that Georgia Southern made him feel right at home and made his decision easy. His parents loved the visit too. Coach Jeff Monken went the extra mile to really sell them, as he personally showed up to one of Younghoe's high school games to offer him a scholarship in person. Sounds like the coach had been spending all of his points on his recruiting tree. I see you, coach. That's how you do it. It's funny because the rest of Younghoe's college days play out very similar to an NCAA 14 dynasty as well. Check it out. During his freshman year, Georgia Southern made a stunning upset, maybe the biggest of their entire college history, when they upset the Florida Gators. A game in which Younghoe himself actually didn't play great. He blew 2 extra points in that game, but still was able to come out on top thanks in part to 49ers starting running back Matt Breida. Yeah, 2 future NFL starters on this FCS team, not the FCS squad that you want to schedule. So GSU took that momentum, went on to win a small bowl game, increased their star rating, and then went from an FCS school all the way up to the Sun Belt, so now they're officially D1. Then things got a little bit too much like NCAA as the coach dipped out in the coaching carousel. I guess NCAA give it, and NCAA take it away. During Younghoe's junior year, somebody recorded him doing this before practice. Boom, instantly Younghoe became an internet sensation. Twitter went crazy and this gave him some notoriety, but he'd realized later that once he got to the NFL, all of his teammates had seen the clip, but they had absolutely no idea it was him. Still, this is something that likely helped him get onto NFL scouts' radar. During Younghoe's junior season, he went 28 of 28 on extra points and 7 of 9 on field goals. His senior year was his best as he missed only 1 extra point and 1 field goal on the entire year, with his longest kick being a 53-yarder. Younghoe set a school record for field goal percentage, making 88.6% of his kicks. He was named to the All-Sun Belt team and became Georgia Southern's first ever All-American. He was also a finalist for the Lou Groza Award and would have likely won in any other year, but he ended up being the runner-up to Zane Gonzalez, the kicker who broke the NCAA career field goals made record. Younghoe went undrafted in the 2014 draft, but he was picked up by the Chargers shortly after. This would make him just the 4th Korean in history to make it to the NFL, with the most notable being former Steeler Hines Ward. He got the Chargers camp and was beasting out and took the job from Josh Lambo, who now kicks for the Jags. And it only took him that one camp to be named the opening day starter for the Chargers. Dude had been riding a cloud of momentum for a while, but this is where things took a turn for the worse. See, opening night, he thought he hit a game-winning field goal, but the opposing team actually called a timeout in order to ice the kicker. The next attempt ended up getting blocked, and the Chargers lost. Now check it out, this isn't really Younghoe's fault. I mean, the line got absolutely run through and the kick got blocked, but he didn't make the game-winning field goal, so blame goes to him. The very next week against Miami, final seconds, game on the line, 19-17. Younghoe is called upon again to kick a 44-yarder for the win, but he missed it. Gotta think that first week was in his head and his growing pains were really becoming evident. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, he didn't miss an extra point and he didn't miss a kick, but the Chargers were 0-4. They needed somebody to scapegoat and ended up being the undrafted kicker out of Korea. Younghoe got cut. Quite a bit of time would pass before the undrafted kicker would ever get another opportunity. It was the first real adversity he dealt with within the sport itself. He'd solved so many of his problems coming from South Korea by playing the game, but now the game itself was the issue. Youngway decided to stay in California. Somehow, he got in contact with legendary kicker John Carney, who kicked in the NFL from 1988 to 2010. They worked out together and Youngway started to put some polish on his natural kicking ability. Bro, it took a full year and a half before Youngway's next opportunity would come, and it came in the form of the AAF. Youngway signed with the Atlanta Legends and made every single field goal that he kicked in the AAF. He wanted to show the world what a year and a half of training could do for you. As we all know, the AAF went under before they could even complete their first season. But his short stint in the startup league actually got him his next opportunity in the NFL. And this is why I say all of these leagues are important, bro. I know a lot of people like to hate on the XFL, but you had a cat like this who wasn't gonna get another opportunity if not for the AAF. He went out there, he showed what he can do, and it got him his next chance. In 2019, Youngway signed with the Patriots practice squad after Steven Gostkowski went down with an injury. That situation ended up leading to another opportunity with the Falcons when kicker Matt Bryant was just missing kick after kick. He actually was 2 of 6 that year. Youngway swooped in and took advantage of his new role. First game this year, he played against the New Orleans Saints and out the gate nailed all 4 of his field goals and a 48-yard bomb. He also hit all his extra points and earned NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Later in that same season, he really put his trick shot skills on display. He successfully kicked 3 onside kicks in a row, and his team recovered them all. That is an NFL record, and it's a skill set that should see him having an NFL job for a very, very long time. The following week against Carolina, he made 4 field goals, including a 50-yard bomb, and converted all his extra points, which earned him another NFC Special Team Player of the Week. And if you picked him up as your kicker in fantasy football, he no doubt won you a couple of games this past season. Youngway Koo never gave up on his dream, and he adapted to every single test that was put in front of him. And I know football is just a game, but it's crazy to think how this man's life could have turned out had he never been introduced to the pigskin. My name is Flemlo Raps. I'm out at you next time, fellas. One.
Yeah, I'm no quitter, 'cause I'ma go get